Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating conversation that spans thousands of years. We're talking about how ancient Chinese art is being used to spark some of the most powerful protests of our time. Okay, just look at these two jars. On the left, you've got this priceless artifact, right? Han Dynasty, over 2,000 years old, made to go with a soul into the afterlife. And then on the right, well, it's that exact same piece of history, but with the Coca-Cola logo slapped right on it, one of the most famous symbols of modern global consumerism. It's a pretty shocking thing to see, isn't it? But this is not just some random act of vandalism. To really get what's happening here, we need to unpack an incredible story about what art is for, the power of history, and yeah, the power of protest. So to figure out why a modern artist would even touch these kinds of objects, we have to go way back. We need to explore the world that these things actually came from in the first place.
You see, in ancient China, art wasn't just about making something that looked nice. Not at all. It was tied into everything: philosophy, spirituality, and really the biggest questions you can ask about life and death. I mean, think about the first Qin emperor, Qin Shi Huangdi. This guy was completely obsessed with the idea of living forever. And what does he do? He commissions an entire army of life-sized terracotta soldiers to be buried with him. A whole military force, just to protect him in the next life. And this whole quest for immortality, which is a huge idea in Taoism, was this incredibly powerful driver. This incense burner, for example, it was found in a prince's tomb. It was built to look like the Taoist paradise, the Isle of the Immortals. It was basically a map for the soul's journey. And this actually brings us right back to our jar. It wasn't designed to hold wine or water or anything like that. It was something called a mingqi, or a spirit good. These were objects made only for the tomb, earthenware stand-ins for real things, all designed to go with the dead on their journey to the heavens, through those swirling mists you see painted right on the surface. And this same deep respect, this reverence, was also given to the natural world. Landscape paintings like this one weren't meant to be hung on a wall for everyone to see. No, they were these intimate hand scrolls. You'd only unroll them in a quiet moment for a kind of personal meditative experience with nature. So, how in the world does all of this profound history link up with our world today? Well, this is where the artist Ai Weiwei comes into the frame. He grabs these ancient ideas and just remixes them to ask some really urgent and, let's be honest, provocative questions. By painting that logo on the jar, Ai Weiwei is literally forcing a collision of worlds. He takes an object that was all about a spiritual, celestial journey and stamps it with a symbol of global capitalism. It just makes you stop and ask, what do we actually value today? What have we lost, or maybe gained, in this rush to modernize? And he does the exact same thing with that idea of connecting with nature. He looks at that calm 13th century ink painting of waves, and he transforms it into this incredible three-dimensional porcelain sculpture. I mean, this is such a great example of how he works. He's not just making a copy, he's translating tradition into a new language. He uses ancient techniques and has the piece made in Jingdezhen, which is the historic heart of Chinese porcelain, to create something that feels both deeply rooted in the past and totally, undeniably modern. But, maybe his most famous historical remix is all about these, the Chinese zodiac heads. So on the left, you've got an original bronze rat head from the 18th century, and on the right, you have Ai Weiwei's massive recreation. And the story behind these heads, it is packed with drama. Okay, so originally, they were part of this magnificent water clock at an imperial palace. But then in 1860, that palace was looted by French and British soldiers, and the heads were stolen, eventually scattering into foreign collections around the world. So, by recreating all 12 of these heads and sending them on a tour around the globe, Ai Weiwei makes us wrestle with some really tough questions. Are his copies fake? I mean, what even makes something an original? And the big one, who actually gets to own a country's cultural heritage? His art drags the whole messy issue of looting and repatriation right onto the world stage. Okay, so why does he do all this? Why provoke and copy and remix history like this? Well, this really gets to the absolute core of his mission as an artist. Because Ai Weiwei isn't just an artist. He is one of China's most well-known activists. He's been incredibly outspoken and critical of his government's positions on things like corruption, human rights, and democracy. And his art? Well, that's his voice. And when you look across all of his work, you just see these themes pop up again and again.
He uses these historical forms to get at incredibly urgent modern issues. Everything from the impact of that Coca-Cola logo to the still unfolding debate over looted treasures, like the Zodiac heads.
By bringing these historical objects back to life, these really powerful echoes from China's past, he basically forces us to face some uncomfortable truths about the world we live in right now. His work isn't really about history, it's about the here and now. And so that's what we're left with. From an ancient jar meant for the afterlife to a modern-day commentary on consumer culture, Ai Weiwei shows us that art is this ongoing conversation across time. His work proves that the echoes of the past can be used to shout some very powerful truths about our present. And the final question he kind of leaves hanging in the air for us is, what will our art, our artifacts, and our actions say to the future?